Hi, this is Lee Smith and welcome to another Walkabout. Not actually walking anywhere today. I'm on the 8th floor of my apartment complex and I want to talk to you about Vietnam's favorite beverage. When you go to a restaurant, you don't see people drinking wine, you don't see people drinking mixed drinks. You'll see some people drinking soda pop and like me, you'll see a lot of people drinking water. But what most people drink is a nice cold beer. So today I'm going to review some of the most popular beers here in Southeast Asia. Alright, first let me just say that I am not a beer expert. I'm just going to share with you my opinions on the beers that I've selected today. And the beers that I've selected today are beers that I've seen in restaurants a lot on the menu and just things that I see down at the market. All the beers here that I've selected were between 11 and 16,000 VND. And as a benchmark, I have a Budweiser, which where I'm from in America is very popular, and it's considered the basic American lager that everybody's familiar with. And that was actually 21,000 VND here in Vietnam. So first, let's start with Budweiser. So this is a can that pretty much everybody in America is familiar with. It's not a craft beer, it's a very popular American lager. Gonna pour it in. Alright, it's got a nice head on it. It's got a nice color to it. It's got a pleasing smell. The flavor is very light. You get the flavor of hops. But I'll be honest, not a lot of flavor at all. It's very drinkable, and Budweiser is very refreshing on a hot summer's day. I'm going to give this a C. This beer is our benchmark, and I'm going to grade the other beers that I'm trying out today based on whether I like them more or less than Budweiser. Okay, for your purists out there, I am rinsing my glass, taking a little swig of water between beers. And speaking of beers, the next one we're going to try. Alright, I'm going to be absolutely honest. I can't even read this label, but I see it a lot in the grocery store, so I thought I'd pick it up and try it. Alright. Less of a head on this beer. I'd say just maybe slightly darker than Budweiser. And of course, I'm attracting bugs here already. Oh. This one's a little more flavorful than Budweiser. It's a slightly darker beer, but again, it's a light lager made for a hot weather environment, so it's not too dark. I like this just a little better than Budweiser, so I'm going to give this if I give Budweiser a C, I'm going to give this one a C+. Alright, next up, we have got, and I know I'm going to screw this pronunciation up, so I'm sorry. Was that Sobeco 333? So let's give this one a try. Alright. Again, maybe slightly darker, maybe. This one is very different. The previous two lagers I tried were very light in flavor, maybe just a hint of a floral flavor. This one is definitely darker, definitely a little bit of a malt flavor, still very light. Very appropriate for a summer's day. Almost maybe a hint of like an organic grass flavor. I'm going to give this maybe a C-. I'm not really crazy about this. Maybe if this were a cooler climate, I might enjoy this beer a little more. But this is today it's 30 degrees Celsius, so I'm going to give this a C- just because I don't think it's appropriate for the environment as much as the other two beers I've tried. Next up, we have Hanoi beer. It says it's a premium beer, just simply Hanoi beer. Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. Let's give this a try. Not much of a head on this beer, definitely a little lighter in color. Smell, not much of, smells very light. This is a very different beer. It has a definite sort of grapefruit note to it. It's got an odd flavor. I really can't put my finger on. Almost yeah, it definitely has a grapefruit flavor to it, but it's not like a light, say, a fruit beer. I'm not crazy about this. I'm gonna give this maybe a C- or a D+. It's okay, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just for the environment here. I wouldn't, if I were sitting outside eating a restaurant, I would want something a little more light, a little more refreshing, and I don't think this is it. All right, up next we've got, and again, I'm sorry if I mispronounced this, Bai Saigon. Bai Saigon Lager. Give this a try. All right. Again, more of a lighter color. Nice head on the beer. Doesn't smell bad. This again has more of an organic flavor. It's not fruit. It's almost a little grassy. A little bit of a hop flavor. Now, if you're more of a beer aficionado, more somebody who enjoys an IPA or something like that, you might like this a little better. It tastes more like a, not very light like a lager. Would I necessarily enjoy it in this weather? That's not for me, but you know, I think if you like an IPA or you like a heavier beer, you're really going to enjoy this. So I would give this a definite C+, maybe a B-. It has some interesting flavors to it. This is Bai Saigon. All right, up next we got Bai Hanoi. Hanoi broken up into 2 words, which is kind of amusing to me. Lager beer. Let's give it a try. All right, pour that in. Okay, again, a lighter color. Doesn't smell bad at all. Maybe a little bit of, again, a little bit of an organic smell to it. This is another beer which has, it's less light, more organic, less fruit. I sense more maybe hops and barley, less of a fruit, less of a grapefruit note, something like that. Very sort of bland. Not crazy about this one. If you're a beer aficionado, I don't think you'll like it as much. It doesn't have a distinct hop note. If you're looking for something light and refreshing on a hot summer's day, I don't think this is the beer you want. Again, I'm going to give this a C-, maybe a D+. It's okay, it's not offensive, but if you're somebody who really enjoys beer, or if you're looking for something refreshing on a hot summer's day, I think you can do a little better. All right, up next, Bai Larue. Again, not sure if I'm pronouncing the BIA correctly, but you know, doing the best I can. So it's got a tiger on the front. We're going to try out tiger beer in just a second. Are they related? No clue. Let's give it a shot. Very light color. Very light flavor, very light. Again, a hint of an organic flavor, less of a fruit flavor. Now this would be, if you're a beer aficionado, if you like IPAs, darker beers, you may not enjoy this. But on a warm day like today, this isn't bad. Especially if you're looking for a beer that has more of a classic beer flavor and less something that's maybe a little light on flavor, something that's a little less fruit flavored. This might be the beer for you. I'm going to give this, again, a good solid C+. Okay, last but not least, we have what I think is the quintessential Southeast Asian beer, Tiger. I had a friend of mine who said that he enjoys this when he's in Thailand. I've enjoyed this before when I've been in Vietnam. Let's give it a try. About average, maybe a little light in color. Flavor, very light. Again, I taste more organic flavors, less fruit flavors. It's definitely more hoppy, more malty, but very light. You can tell it's brewed for Southeast Asia. Brewed for warm environments. It's interesting, but I'm not crazy about it. I give it an average rating of a C. Alright, so I gotta say, of all the beers I've tried today, this is my favorite. Ironically, I don't see this a lot in restaurants. I see this a lot in markets. If you're picking up something to take to the beach, this is the beer I'd recommend. I enjoy the flavor. It's light. Now, if you're a beer aficionado, if you're somebody who likes a darker beer, an IPA, a stout, you might like one of these other beers. But to be honest, this is the one I enjoy the most. So cheers. Thanks for enjoying the video with me today. And if you have any questions, if you have any comments about these beers, or if you want to correct my pronunciation, please leave a comment below. Thanks for joining me.